We're trying it again. Who the hell knows if this will work? I bet it
Your
won't.
mic's on. We're
Yeah, I
broadcasting the
know.
mic.
That's why
Oh.
I was talking.
I understand now.
Alright, so is this part safe?
Yes, this part sounds very nice. People can hear us.
Alright. So, the thing that is totally a mystery is what will happen when we press play on Winamp right now. It might be a complete disaster. I'm going to do it. I'm going to click it.
Oh god. Click it.
Click.
It's way warmer in here now. It's summer and there's two computers.
To what we in the
So there's just no way for me to hear this, I guess.
Mic.
Anyway, Chris has been fired from Idle Thumbs. You may notice a few changes around the old studio. It's June 13th, 2012.
And this is the Idle Thumbs Kickstarter Progresscast, the 13th one. I'm Chris Remo.
I'm Jake Rodkin.
And I'm Sean Vanneman.
And here we are, hot on the heels of Progresscast, the 12th one.
We've made so much progress.
Those are long heels, or our shoes are very long. Sorry about that.
Yeah. There's a lot of good stuff happening. We're so close to sending you guys some rad stuff for the Kickstarter. So if you backed us at a physical rewards level, that stuff is being made, and
If you appreciate us on a physical level, you'll be pleased soon.
if you wanted some physicality, we're bringing it to you, live in your mailbox or your doorstep. Where do you put it? I guess
Your face.
you're probably going to get one of those little pieces of paper, and then you're going to have to go to the FedEx, and then
Yeah.
they're going to be like, oh, we don't have that here. You have to drive south
It's
to
in
the
Tulsa.
to the facility. So sorry about that.
Even though you live in Chicago.
Or
Right,
you
but
have to
then
go like,
you're going there, and then you look on the FedEx app and you're like, out for delivery, fuck, and the guy's on his way to your house.
like, oh, that guy's
and then you
already
get this
there.
like second attempt.
By the time you get home,
It's just weird because we shipped it with the United States Postal Service.
very strange.
Yeah.
You say that as if we've actually shipped it.
which we
Well,
have
in this hypothetical
in the
story we
fiction,
have,
in the
Oh.
goof, in the fiction.
I have no idea
Yeah.
what service they're going to use,
DHS
We have some options.
DHL.
or DHL, DSL,
Yeah.
ASL.
Go on. ESL.
Oh yeah, we're shipping it ESL for sure. Yeah, we're shipping
So,
it eFigs.
And then we're figuring out the best way to digitally distribute you a game and some sick wallpapers and not some music because...
Not yet.
Well, not yet. That's not going to be in the same drop. But
The record continues to be turning out to be the most complicated thing, which is weird because an entire video game was made. It turns out it's actually more time consuming for us because we're horrible to record a vinyl record. So we're working on that, and that'll ship later. So we decided instead of delaying the main goods, we'll just send out all that stuff first, and then for people who pledged at the $200 level, they will get an additional package later with that in it.
yep. Yeah, so we're going to take our time on it and make it something really cool.
And it's probably we're not, this isn't 100% certain yet, but there's a decent chance it'll be a 12-inch now rather than a 7-inch.
We already said that.
I think we already said that.
Yeah. Progress. I am so stoked to get those shirts done. Oh, they're going to be soft cottons against
Yeah.
my body.
They're going to be good.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited about that.
Also, we have a new office edition now. We have a digital mixer, which we never had before, so we can
We can
record
record
things
all
better.
four of us separately and then mix
all
ourselves.
four of us.
Don't tell anyone that Nick's here. It's all right. We have up to 4 microphones, but only 3 hosts.
We have up to 8 inputs, right?
Yeah.
Well, we could just go bonkers.
Could 5 of them be you, readers?
No.
No, oh, sorry, no.
That's not going to happen. Never.
But they could be Nick Brecken, F. Nick Brecken, F. Brecken, Fuck Nick,
Nicholas B.
Nicholas B. Recken, Reckin apostrophe, and Steve Gaynor.
Is that 8?
That's like 12 probably.
They're
And
going to have to share a mic.
H. Scoops,
Well,
Scoops.
the 3 of those Nicks are a trinity. So
Oh,
they're
they
they're
coexist within one
yeah.
one form.
Mhm.
It just sounds like Nick, but vocoded.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know if this will sound any different. Maybe it'll still sound terrible because the office is not baffled enough yet. I don't know. But in any case, we're working on making our audio setup better.
Yeah, we're excited about it. It means that if one person is too quiet when we're recording, we can actually just boost them in the mix
Right.
instead
Which was not possible.
of realizing that it was sad. Or sometimes in the previous ones, it was possible because you
I
would just sit at
manually-
your computer and find every time they talked and then just like run
Boost
a
that.
compressor
Yeah.
on it or something. Yeah, that's
yeah.
really cool.
Well, I'll do a compressor, and that would also manually go in and actually make a little volume envelope that would peak each time. Yeah. So this will be way better. This
That's
will be good.
gross. I didn't know you did that.
Yeah, I did that a lot.
Chris did all sorts of
You
weird
should
secret
see.
things.
I think one time I even put up a picture of like the waveform from one of the Idle Thumbs podcasts, just as sort of public self-flagellation to show
Yeah.
people.
Nights
some
of
of the-
Sleep Lost by
Yeah.
Chris, putting this stupid thing together. Hopefully reduced in the
Hopefully,
future.
yeah, fewer sleep gone. I call them
Human sleep
God,
units.
call them sleep units. Yeah. Yeah. Something we started doing this weekend, we tested, and then I think we're going to keep doing
It was rolling around in the remaining cash.
Yeah, that was good. That was strong.
It's electronic funds only, so it was a little awkward.
We had actually, what we did is we bought a printer and printed out enough.
We used the
We
money to
printed
buy
out-
paper.
We printed out our account statement.
Yeah,
and
and
just
then
kind of
rolled
rolled
around
on top of that.
Yeah, which was nice. It got a little wrinkly. We got a laser printer, so it didn't stick to our bodies. The ink. I don't know. Or what I was talking about was the Saturday morning stream.
Yeah, streaming Super Black Bass.
Yeah, so this on Saturday, because we have this office, we just kind of want to figure out cool things we can do here. We met up, and I showed Chris Super Black Bass, a game from my childhood that I hold near and dear to my heart. And we played that for like 90 minutes on a Twitch TV channel, which is this twitch.tv/idlethumbs.
Correct.
And we're just going to keep doing that, I think.
Black Bass every week.
Black Bass until I get to that final...
bass.
The final
When you
bass.
find it, the Super
Until you
Black
get to
Bass.
the bass battle.
Oh
No,
my
nothing?
God.
All right, okay.
You are too...
The final
too-
bass? Come on now. All right.
Yeah.
Fuck y'all.
It was good, though. It hung out there until you said it.
Yep.
Yeah, that was-
In other news, Chris Remo's leaving the podcast.
For the second time tonight.
I know, you were 2 for 2 for like this terrible,
Yeah.
like...
Your face also just became
Punman.
troll face after you said
Yeah.
super boss battle or whatever.
So yeah, we're going to just keep picking games
That
and
was
keep
the
playing
joke. It was
them.
bass.
Oh,
They'll be doing that.
super boss.
Super Black Boss. That was Resident,
Were
that
you
was from
were you
Resident Evil
talking?
What is this?
5. Sorry, that was a terrible thing to say.
Chris is fired forever. You were speaking, Sean?
I got nothing else. That's
We're
kind of that.
Anyway, we might stream other games on other Saturdays that are not any of the games that we just mentioned. Is that a thing we're gonna try to do? Jake has been incapacitated.
Sorry.
Were you gonna say? Please continue, Sean.
That was from Resident Evil 5. Ruined me. Sorry.
I have really nothing left. I tuned out a while ago.
It's good that you did.
So yeah, we have a twitch.tv channel now that we're going to just experiment with. We don't really have like a programming schedule or anything like that. And we're just going to think of games we want to stream and show them to each other like we would regularly.
Are we doing it
So-
this Saturday? I don't even know.
We're not doing it this Saturday just because it's my birthday and I got something. I got
Happy
a
birthday!
day. But maybe this weekend, Sunday. We can do it Sunday. I'd
Yeah,
rather
we do
keep
Sunday
it. I'd rather
morning.
keep it on Saturdays. But yeah, weekend mornings the same way. Like I wanted to start doing weekend mornings because weekend mornings are when I usually play the most video games. Except if you're in the Idle Thumbs Lords Management Consortium, and you now know that I play Dota at 2 in the morning, which is embarrassing. But I generally wake up and grab a bowl of cereal and play a video game, and that's where I do a lot of my gaming.
But now we
So-
can come get brunch at the place near the office.
Go to the stable across the street.
play some video games live.
Yeah. And it was really fun. Like I really had a really good time
Yeah, it was
showing
good.
you guys Black Bass. And
You
what's
should,
cool about Twitch is that it just keeps that stuff up there. So if you can't tune in, if you're like way far away or, asleep like you should be,
Hopefully
You can go grab
when the real website's up, there will be some kind of way for people to eventually see incidental things like this before they happen. But since we don't really have any mechanism to expose that stuff right now, you should follow Idle Thumbs on Twitter, just at Idle Thumbs. Just keep an eye on that periodically, and that'll be probably the best way to learn about weird things we do like this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hopefully we can figure out a better solution in the future.
Yeah. Well, with Twitch, there's like a subscribers thing to where like if you like
That's true,
get
but
an
I think
account,
it doesn't tell you that until it's actually started.
Yeah, it'll bounce you an email and say, hey, we're doing a thing.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's cool because we have this office now, so we're just going to experiment with things like that. Obviously we're going to do the other podcast. We're doing the bookcast, which I can't wait to record that goddamn thing. But
we can't wait to record that and the video game one as well. And we should talk about the reason that it's taking so long.
we're building a mega site.
Yeah, it'll be a good website.
Yeah, we're building a crazy website. Jake is doing all the design for it pretty much. Well, with Chris, I just kind of sit back and say, yeah. And then Doug and Mike are being invaluable. But it's going to be a way for the podcast to exist for a good long time without a ton of web upkeep. And the 3 Moves Ahead guys are going to be able to publish their podcast with it. Anybody else, whoever shows up, is going to be able to publish their stuff with it. It's really, really, really great. It's probably the best podcast website under the hood that exists,
And on top of the hood.
It's got that sweet like bikini lady with a wolf airbrushed onto the hood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's pretty good.
They're talking about the car that's parked outside the office, that crazy like Cadillac.
No, that car actually exists, but I was talking about the metaphorical above the hood of the new Idle Thumbs website.
I see.
But also the Idle Thumbs
that
website
metaphor is rendered incarnate outside of our office.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a guy in this neighborhood that has like a sexy lady on one side and then like an angry wolf on the hood, and it's entirely airbrushed, like Cadillac. God, which one is that? I don't know.
A car.
It's like the one that your grandpa drives. It's that one. Yeah, it's really good.
There's some curb scrapers probably.
Yeah,
or if there aren't, there's the ghost.
Jake. Curb ticklers.
That's like,
curb scrapers, ticklers. That's a curb tickler.
It's a tickler, excuse me.
And we only know that because
because of the cut poker night gun?
Yeah. We tried to pitch Valve on when we were doing poker night objects, like Heavy. The narrative was that Heavy was going to bet this crazy, like ostentatious, like just gaudy minigun
Just
that
opulent.
had this. Yeah,
With like diamonds and like from like Army of Two.
Yeah,
Where
but
it's
even
diamonds
like
and
it was the
rubies and
minigun dipped
stuff.
in gold, but then just like diamond encrusted, and it
Yeah.
had curb feelers coming off the front, and the ends of them were dice and stuff.
What is it? I don't actually know what a curve.
It's,
So,
it's
yeah.
the little metal scrapey, the little metal things that you put on the sides of your car. They go when you're hitting the curb, so that you don't like
Scrape your
your
rims.
rims.
Yeah,
that.
sometimes. So if you ever see like a lowrider,
Do they look like the pigeon spikes that people
Yeah,
put on buildings?
kind of.
Yeah,
They look like little. They're basically like little antennas
Uh-huh.
that stick off the back of your.
Yeah. I can imagine. I
yeah.
just don't know if I've seen or noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't want to scrape your doo-doos. Can't scrape your doo-doos. You gotta
Don't say that.
those are called 22s, doo-doos.
All right.
Gosh, we're teaching you all sorts of things tonight. But
About sweet
how did
tricked
we end
out
up? How
cars.
did we end up on curb feelers and
Oh, because
doo-doos?
we're talking about the website back end.
Yes.
Which is totally tricked out. With
Yeah.
all kinds of sweet shit.
At idlethumbs.net/doo-doo.
Don't go to that. Don't go to that. It's really bad.
That's Chris's private site.
Really
Yeah.
bad.
The shadow site.
Yeah, that's Chris's secret Tumblr.
That's Chris's Mega McCheese.
Chris's Mega McCheese, also a steakhouse.
Man, I'm playing so much Dota still, though.
Are you winning,
I don't
Dota?
even want to talk about it because it's just, who wants to listen to me talk about playing Dota again? Although last night, one thing is I finally realized, because I've been playing with the guys in the Idle Thumbs Lords Management Consortium. There's actually a Idle Thumbs channel now on Dota. You can just go and click on the chat channels, and there's one that's over there that says Idle Thumbs, and it's generally got like 4 or 5 people in it. But those guys are good. So I join up with them in a party, and then we go and we fight other lords, and I am generally the weakest link. But it's made me so much better because last night I did like a basic pickup game with nobody. So it paired me with people in my skill level. And these guys are idiots. It was great to be the most knowledgeable person in my crew, having played with people who are good.
Right, yeah.
Oh, it's so good. We still got hosed, but I feel like I'm 2 months in, or however long. God, 2 months in maybe. and I finally have a complete
More than that, because you were playing this game when we were still doing our Kickstarter, planning our
Yeah.
Kickstarter campaign.
I feel like I finally,
just started right then,
this
though.
week, I can say I have a complete understanding of.
The entire game of Dota, too.
I know what most character types should be doing and why they should be doing it, and when I fuck up, why I fucked up.
So you've got the fundamentals.
The fundamentals, yeah.
Yeah.
101,
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
I mean, I know what you mean because when Nick and I were playing a lot of StarCraft 2, like we got decently high in 2v2. We got to platinum in 2v2, but that doesn't mean much compared to 1v1. But like, even though obviously if I ever played against someone who's actually truly really good at that game, I would have gotten creamed. You still get to a point where you understand why you lose, even if it's just because you're shitty. Like you can watch the really high level people play and understand what's going on and like understand why the thing they're doing is impressive and like how that could theoretically apply to your game if you were actually capable of executing it,
Right.
which
yeah,
you're
yeah.
not. But like
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a weird feeling that comes with games where the skill ceiling is just so high.
Yeah.
Is that ability where you're I mean, obviously in almost any game, your comprehension level will outpace your actual performance level because there's always stuff you could get better at. But with games when the skill ceiling is that high, the gulf between comprehension and ability just widens to an insane, it's like a logarithmic curve. Like it widens and widens and widens in a way that it doesn't for like any single player game, for example, or any more traditional game. Like
Right.
these games that have entire pro scenes around them, that the amount you don't know gets terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm there now. I've had my awakening.
You've
Yeah.
walked up to the edge of the cliff, and now you can see how far
Yeah.
away
Yeah.
you did that cliff that you didn't know was there, and
Dota-
the other side
and it
you didn't know was
continually,
there.
yeah,
You can
recedes,
observe
yeah.
them now.
Dota's an even more extreme example of that than StarCraft 2 in some ways. I don't know how the actual top end of the skill ceiling compares. Like I have no idea. But just in terms of like approaching the cliff, they're really different because the first time you play, if you've never played a StarCraft game before, or even just a real-time strategy game generally, and you go and load in Far Cry 2. Christ.
Wow.
Whoa.
All
There's
games.
some similar syllables in there. Far Cry 2, StarCraft 2, there's some R's. Anyway, but if you didn't have
There's some R's.
if you were
Go
if
on.
you weren't building on any past knowledge at all, it would just be impossible. Like it would be
Yeah.
you wouldn't even know the slightest thing about how to do anything. Whereas Dota 2, it's still impossible. But at least it's just like one guy that you move around. Like at least the scope of the guy you're controlling, if nothing else, is under your command in terms of like this is the one guy I need to move around. I don't have other guys that are somewhere else that are doing something. It doesn't mean there isn't an infinite
It's
number of
amazing
things to
though.
know.
Is the thing is
but-
that's the way I felt up until about a week ago when I realized what good players do is constantly, and I mean constantly, click on the other 9 people that exist to
I'm not saying
see
that's an
what
accurate
objects they
yeah.
have.
My point isn't that
It's
it's
fucking crazy to be like,
No,
oh, that guy's
totally.
got a BKB and that guy's got a drum, so we're not going to do that over there. We're going to do this over here. I'm like, what? How do you know what the other guys have? It's like, I click on them. It's like, whoa, why aren't you clicking on your guy to kill the other guys? And they go, I do that too. Well, how many mice do you have? It's fucking
right.
stupid.
No, so totally. So my point
Yeah.
obviously wasn't that
No,
that's
no.
the correct thing to do. It's simply that that's the deception of not
Your-
being at the cliff yet. Is
Right.
the deception is easier to
Your moment one experience is that's my guy. That's me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing, and this is telling. There's a part of me because okay, there's that great Civ 2 article that we got to talk about. But
Oh, for sure.
so this morning I said, this is my whole thought process. Gonna get in here. You're gonna just settle
Just
in.
to take a window into the mind of Vanneman.
Yeah, I read that article when I woke up.
The Civ 2 article.
The
that
Civ
we
2
haven't
article
talked
that we'll
about
talk
yet.
about.
Is that important to the story? Because we're glossing
Yeah,
over
the
it.
nature of it is not, but
Okay. There was an article.
it's great. We'll get to it. You'll understand why I'm about to do everything that I do. And I get up and I go, man, I got to play Civ again. I know I have a copy of Civ 4. I know I have a disc somewhere. I'm going to find it. So before I go to work, I dig around, and I find Civ 4, and I put it on my desk. And I look at it, and the first thing I think of is that's the thing that could save me from Dota. That's my first thought. Was if I play Civ, which isn't a crazy addicting like game,
Yeah.
it'll somehow feel better than getting my ass kicked nightly in Dota.
Well, this is why when you go to an not that I'm speaking from experience, but when
There's
you go
another
to
level to this,
an
but carry
AA
on.
meeting, everyone smokes a cigarette
Yeah.
because you need, it's not as if the cigarette's good for you, but at least it's not going to make you beat your wife and throw your kids out of the house.
Right. But in that analogy, Dota's making me beat my wife and throw my kids out of the house.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's my point.
Right.
Dota is the alcohol.
Is the vice, that I'm addicted
and
to.
Civ is the nicotine.
Right.
That's
It's a complete analogy. It's just, you're framing Dota as something that turns me into a violent, like, blacked out monster.
Well, that's the thing that
That's
you're
gonna
recognizing you need to be saved from.
Yes, yeah, that's true. But
good that you're
then,
People don't
admitting
say they
this.
need to be saved from cigarettes per se. It's just maybe, they figure for my health, maybe I should quit or whatever. But
Right.
alcohol, when people actually accept that, that's the thing that's like,
right,
oh God.
that's the thing that's going to make you homeless. You're not, comma, though, I look at it and I start to think, but Dota isn't. Comma, though, I look at it and I start to think, but Dota's in beta. I know more now than most people know about Dota. I am bad, but when it's not in beta anymore, I'm going to be so good.
When
You know
that,
what I
when
mean?
that Dota 2 billboard is up over
Like
Like,
I'm
just
the,
the thought
over
bubble
one on one
of
on
your-
your
like
way
I'm
into
the
city.
guy who's friends with the manager at Target. So on like Black Friday, I get in like 20 minutes early and I'm quietly picking out my like $3 toaster and my
Yeah.
$17 plasma. And then everybody's just at the gates. And when they come in, I'm just like walking
Just
out quiet.
sauntering
Yeah,
out. Yeah.
What?
exactly. So, but the thing is, I can't say that learning to get good at this game now while it's in beta does not carry a cachet for me that I think has actual value.
Right.
God, sorry. All I'm thinking of is you walking out of a Target in slow motion in your mouth just saying, Lord's management, as you walk past a Black Friday crowd.
Oh man, we got
Lords managed.
we
and keep
managed
walking.
to indirectly spread Lord's Management as a genre name.
on the
today a
with
bit.
Polygon with those guys.
Yeah. The Polygon put out a tweet saying something like Dota 2, League of Legends, games like that. What do you guys call them?
And then
And-
the three of us.
Yeah, we all of us and like other like JP of course and like I saw a bunch of people that we know reply saying, "Oh, this genre is called Lord's Management." JP hilariously was like, "The term that Valve and other developers use is Lord's Management," which I love because the
Yeah.
person who's whoever mans the Polygon Twitter feed, if they don't know who JP is already, they could click on his thing, look
Like,
at his
oh,
name,
game
and be
developer at
like, "Oh,
Double
this
Fine."
guy's worked for Double Fine, Irrational Games, 2K Marin." Like, "Oh, this guy's tapped into the development scene."
Yeah,
Lord's
this
Management.
guy knows what he's talking about. Yeah,
But
yeah.
the-
He does
yeah,
have-
there were,
his
like-
pedigree is high for being able to say
Right.
pulls him.
There were like 20 plus replies before we noticed it this morning saying, oh, it's MOBA. And then I was like, Lord's Management,
Yeah.
retweet out. And
Well,
then, like,
there was a post from the Polygon Twitter feed a little later that said most of you had said MOBA, but Idle Thumbs is mounting a strong campaign for Lord's Management,
Yep.
which was good. So
a campaign for truth, we call it.
we got to keep this going. Anytime anyone always correct people. Be courteous, but
But say, oh, sorry, I believe you mean Lord's Management.
yeah. Someone also
I've been trying to
someone
get
replied
Jake to
suggesting
play because I feel like I'll get
the,
better if I teach him. So go ahead.
someone suggests the abbreviated form Lord Man, which is pretty.
Oh, that's
hilarious.
strong. That is really strong.
Yeah.
Lordman.
Lordman is strong, Sean.
Someone also suggested Loma, which is pretty clever.
That just sounds like a neighborhood here.
It does.
That
Yeah.
just sounds like a San Francisco
Loma,
neighborhood. Yeah.
So does MOBA, though, really.
Lower Manhattan.
Yeah.
Lower management of Lords. And that's in parentheses, though.
But if you actually are new and somehow you can sign up for the beta, and I think they'll let you in eventually. It's like a 2-week thing or something. I don't have any invites or I'd send them out. But if you're new and you get into the Idle Thumbs channel, people are really nice about this. Say I'm new. Say you're new. Do not try to play like you're not. Just say I'm super new. Say that and people will help you. That's so good. They're really trying to build a community of that. Like you can give people commendations.
Who are they? What do you mean?
Valve.
Oh.
Yeah. You can give people, you only have 10 to give, but you can give people commendations for like friendly, helpful, leadership.
Do they recharge? So if you give out your 10 in the first month,
I don't.
you
I mean,
have
I'm in the
them
beta. I have
forever?
no idea what they're.
You're holding on to those. You haven't commended anyone.
I give them 3, but you also have a limited number of reports too, which is good. And I think those are actually going to have
for
a
bad behavior.
Yeah, I think those are actually going to have a currency. So, You're looking at the monitor like I need to lean up.
No, you're not.
Okay.
New equipment.
Let's talk. Yeah. So let's get to that Civ.
Yeah. So this was fascinating.
This was the
I
best.
should load up this article actually. This guy. This is the kind of thing that just
This is why.
like Sean and I especially, I think, have been really in one of our moods lately where we get really bummed out about a lot of aspects of games. And then this is
Jake's been quietly in one of those.
Oh, I'm
moods.
quietly in the mood.
No,
The problem is, Jake.
I'm
yeah.
sure you have.
I just haven't talked to you guys about it.
I know.
You've been
I know.
absconding to Southern California to be happy. Yeah.
But this is just one of those things where you're like, man, this is just a totally unique thing to games. It's not just like just a dumb version of an action movie where you shoot a million faces forever or whatever. Like it's a really interesting thing. Some guy started playing Civilization 2 10 years ago. He started a game of Civ 2 in like
2002.
I guess, and has been playing it not completely continuously, but the same save
He's
game
come back
been
to it over and
returning
over again,
to
yeah.
on an ongoing basis for 10 years. Because, in Civ games, you can set tons of parameters in terms of how many years you want the game, like what the victory conditions are, like blah, 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 blah. It's been forever since I played Civ 2, so I don't remember how much freedom that game gives you in that respect. But probably,
I think a ton.
Probably a lot,
I think
yeah.
Civ 2 is
Yeah.
one of the more open Civs.
Mhm.
Like they've in the effort of being
Until
more
4
mass.
is definitely seen as sort of the canonical Civ.
Yeah. Like I think 5 tried to flatten all that stuff out.
So the guy has So the guy's been playing for 10 years in the real world, and he's up to in the fiction of this game that he's been playing, he's up to the year 3991 AD. So he's essentially 2,000 years in the future from where we are. And he writes, "The world is a hellish nightmare of suffering and destruction. There are 3 remaining supernations in the year 3991 AD, each competing for the scant resources left on the planet after dozens of nuclear wars have rendered vast swaths of the world uninhabitable wastelands. The ice caps have melted over 20 times somehow, due primarily to many nuclear wars. As a result, every inch of land in the world that isn't a mountain is inundated swampland, useless for farming, most of which is irradiated anyway. As a result, big cities are a thing of the distant past. Roughly 90% of the world's population, at its peak 2,000 years ago, has died from nuclear annihilation or famine caused by the global warming that has left absolutely zero arable land to farm.
So good.
It's
a Ridley Scott movie.
This is just out of control, I know. Engineers are constantly building roads so that new armies can reach the front lines. Roads are destroyed the very next turn when the enemy moves over them, so there isn't any time to clear swamps or clean up the nuclear fallout. Only 3 supernations are left: the Celts, me, the Vikings, and the Americans. Between the 3 of us, we have conquered all other nations that have ever existed and assimilated them into our empires."
It's so good
This
that it's
is-
the Celts, the Vikings, and
Yeah,
America.
I know.
Sorry. So good.
This is the 1,700-year-long war. The 3 remaining nations have been locked in a death struggle for almost 2,000 years. Peace seems impossible. Every time a ceasefire is signed, the Vikings surprise attack me or the Americans. The
That's
next
my favorite
turn.
part.
I know.
Just the fact that like
I love the notion
futuristic
of,
guys
like-
with giant beards and horn helmets.
They're still
Well,
have the
that-
classic
the-
stereotypical
the-
Viking moves.
I know.
Like,
it's like,
Yeah.
the Celts and the Americans are like possibly open
Look,
to
we can
some
figure
kind of
this
peace
out. Yeah,
treaty.
yeah.
Nope.
those goddamn Vikings. Yeah, space Vikings.
Some guys showing up in a silver jumpsuit eating a turkey leg. Yeah.
So they
a
always
braided
attack the
beard.
next turn, often with nuclear weapons, even when the UN forces a peace treaty, which is also great. That the UN apparently survives as a
just-
totally powerless, like defanged
Yeah.
organization.
Just a
That's
puppet.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I can only assume peace will come only when they're wiped out. It is this that perpetuates the war ad infinitum. Have any of you old Civ 2 players had this problem? I love that it just like dips into suddenly like actually just talking about a
He just
video
needs,
game.
he just needs a
post,
game
yeah.
fact. Yeah.
Um,
What's amazing is he says because he's a communist and they're running the other two.
yeah. I'm gonna keep reading this.
Okay, good.
Because of SDI, ICBM's, I think the Strategic Defense Initiative, if I recall correctly, it's the thing that protects you against missiles. Because of SDI, ICBMs are usually only used against armies outside of cities. Instead, cities are constantly attacked by spies who plant nuclear devices, which then detonate. Usually the downside to this is that every nation in the world declares war on you. But this is already the case, so it is no longer a deterrent, which is fucked up.
Right. We're already all at
There-
war.
Yeah.
So there's no
mutually assured
there's-
destruction is already perpetually occurring. The only governments left are 2 theocracies and myself, a communist state. I wanted to stay a democracy, but the Senate would always overrule me when I wanted to declare war before the Vikings did. Which,
It was a
Which is
move.
also
It was a move
crazy,
It was a move of survival. Yeah, I
yeah,
think he says
absolutely. This would delay my attack, and render my turn and offer my plans useless.
God.
And of course, the Vikings would break the ceasefire like clockwork anyway. I was forced to do away with democracy roughly 1,000 years ago. Christ, that's an amazing sentence. I was forced to do away with democracy roughly 1,000 years ago because it was endangering my empire. Oh, games. But of course, the people hate me now. And every few years since then, there are massive guerrilla uprisings in the heart of my empire that I have to deal with saps resources from the war effort. This is all just amazing. Seriously. My goal for the next few years is to try to end the war and use the engineers to clear swamps and fallout so that farming may resume. I want to rebuild the world, but I'm not sure how.
That's like a stump speech. It's so good. That part is the best part.
If any of you old Civ 2
Like, it
players
sounds like
have
he's
any advice on
justifying
this
to
game.
himself why he should keep playing. He's like, if I could simply, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's great because the first person who got upvoted the most said, you need to switch to fundamentalism right now, and
Yeah.
here's why. And then everybody went, yes, do that. That is
Well,
a
this
fantastic
some
strategy.
guy replies with a 6-point plan.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, my plan.
Yeah,
to
go
sort
ahead and
this-
read it. It's really good.
My plan to sort this mess out would be something along these lines. Point 1, forget ending the war. Try and get your front lines such that you can consistently withstand attack, forcing a stalemate. Stop wasting production on tanks and planes that are going to get nuked anyway. 2, change to fundamentalism. This is bad for research, but you don't need research now. The people will stop hating you and you'll have more coin. Point 3, get your core cities to rebuild, fix the land surrounding them. This is very costly in engineers, I know, but get farms and production moving. It'll take a lot of turns to build a tank in a low population city. 4, once that's all in place, build an army of tanks, mountain troops, artillery, and spies, the likes of which has never been seen, and keep it off the front lines. Build rails as far as they'll go without losing engineers. 5, once all is in place, get spies in every enemy city, enough to generate a nuke hit all the way to their capital. Hit them all at once, drop in the mountain boys, wait for the nuke response, hopefully using their whole stockpile, then move conventional army in and mop up the mess. 6, repeat with the other guys.
God, so that guy actually just needs to get on a video chat with this guy while they live
I
stream
know.
this war
Yeah,
effort
oh
out
my
on like
God.
if this guy's just life in Civ started going out on Twitch, people would go
Yeah.
apeshit over
Oh
that.
my God, yeah. that would be
Also,
incredible.
this guy could probably license the fictional universe he's created out to a major Hollywood studio or television
Oh my
network.
God, I know.
Of just
Yeah.
anyway,
Someone's actually-
check out this
someone is-
grim future.
Someone is probably optioning this right now. Like,
No, seriously.
I guarantee
This
that
happens on
happening.
Reddit all the time. If you
Yeah.
front page with something crazy like this, it's going to get,
But the question is, are they optioning out the world in which he's created or the story of the world?
Or Civ.
Or
And
Civ.
his story.
Right.
Because calling it just civilization and just
A
making
good
it
director
about this-
making that would be amazing.
Well,
It
you make the
wouldn't- it
first
wouldn't
movie,
be
which
that.
is Civilization.
But like a really incredible
You make it
film
10
called
it's like the
Civilization that is
Deca,
about
what's
this.
that Italian film collection? It's like 10 movies. It's called the Deca fucking Tron or something. Oh, that made me look dumb. There's like a 10 movie series by this Italian director called the Decaplex or something. I don't know
Well,
what
you
it's
should
called.
make the first one.
But that's what they should do is actually just,
a 10 film.
yeah.
But what if number one
Greenlight a
is
cycle.
if number one
Yeah.
is Civilization and it's about like Rome and Greece and the Vikings and this weird sort of collision of nation states that never actually happened, and then Civilization 2, which is what this is, actually just says 2,300 years later, and then it's just this like trudge of an engineer building a road, and then a nuclear airstrike comes in as he hears over the walkie-talkie that spies have destroyed some stupid Celtic city for the 18th time.
That would be brilliant, actually. That would be absolutely brilliant if the leader, because the thing that you would have that would be that would make it conceptually cohesive is that the leadership personalities in both of those films would have to be the exact same because that's essentially the player.
Right.
Like whoever is like the Celt in the year 800 building these armies and fighting these wars basically would
you
have
would be able to see the points there that if you just draw the line up.
right.
to
It's like, okay,
Civilization 2,
you
it
just
would
take
track.
him and it's year 3999, same
Yeah.
person, same name, same way of
So
speaking.
the idea is that they're not. It's not technically a strict sequel. It's like a weird kind of metaphysical sequel.
yeah.
Or yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
this is awesome. Also, the idea of the again, this is a thing where like if fucking Terrence Malick or something was
yeah.
to make this, it would be incredible.
Yeah.
Terrence
would
Malick's
probably-
Civilization 2.
Oh my.
Dude,
That's a world I want to live in.
Yeah, I'd
Fuck
watch that.
you.
Terrence Malick's Civilization. I still like the idea of just calling it Civilization, but setting it in the year 4000.
Yeah, that's
like,
fine.
I don't know. That would explode my goddamn brain. But it would probably just turn out like the Battleship movie.
Terrence Malick's Sid Meier's Civilization.
Just it's going to turn out to have underwater
Yeah.
robots.
The-
A huge leaping metal beast.
The thing is so
would
your
be fine,
your
actually.
dubstep sound effect that you do is just been conflated with your Transformer sound effect.
No,
so I
that's-
never know which one you're doing.
Yeah, it's all the same though.
It's not though. It is. That's true.
The idea of like the Celts and the Vikings, it's not the same, but the idea of the Vikings and the Celts being like among the only remaining societies in the world in 2,000 years from now. Did you guys ever read Dune?
No.
Yes.
Actually, my wife taught a crazy class about Dune at
really?
the University of Miami.
I took a class on Dune.
Yeah.
in college.
So I've never read it.
My
though.
favorite thing about Dune, I think I read a couple of the Dune books. I forget, but I forget how much this was in the first one or the later ones. I think it was more in the later ones. I haven't read them since college. But my favorite thing about them was that like Jews still exist as this weird, like essentially underground society. Like that to me was like the most fascinating choice in those books. I hope I'm not mixing this up with like a different series. But I'm pretty sure it was Dune. I'm pretty sure in the world, a million nerds listening to this are calling me the biggest idiot who's ever lived right now, and it's true.
Well, a book that actually takes. I mean, did you? I am just gonna get us off.
No, they're in Dune.
Okay, it is Dune.
You
Yeah,
got it right.
But I loved the idea that of all of the kind of religions and societies that currently exist on Earth, the one best equipped to just
Endure.
continue,
Yeah.
exactly, keep on enduring in this weird distributed fashion without calling attention to itself is Judaism. Like I found that so fascinating, and I really like in science fiction when people set things if in your science fiction thing it's set in the future, that it isn't just everything about it isn't just a made up like United Earth
But
Command.
there is just the
Like,
one
it's
little
just-
dot that can point back at least, or things like
yeah,
that. Yeah,
something that
Yeah.
something that says like grounds it in some way, makes it not just like a Star Wars thing where it's literally just everything's
Well, even
entirely
Star
made up
Trek,
as
which
separate.
is like, I mean, oh God, I don't know shit about Star Trek. Okay, so this is gonna be a mistake. But even which is Earth and all these things, totally seems to be decoupled from actual Earth history a lot of times. Like,
Mhm.
you know, there's
when Star Trek occasionally actually connects back into a timeline that is valid, it's always more interesting though.
Yeah,
I don't know.
my Star Trek. It's so funny. My awareness of Star Trek is so limited. Like
You
I
watch
have
the
Yeah, I like
original
to watch
series.
pockets. I've
Yeah,
watched
yeah.
I've watched the original series, and I've watched like 2 of the movies.
yeah.
But one of the ones I've seen was Star Trek 4, where
That's the one where they time
go to
travel
Earth
back
and,
to the
like,
80s
save
San
the whales.
Francisco.
Yeah, that was my favorite. I love that. I thought
That thing is
was great.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Civ article though, it's so funny.
Oh, it's amazing.
You saying, yeah, it is. It was like this, like crazy, like exactly dose of what I needed to remind me of like what games can be amazing.
Yeah.
This week.
Well, and I remember some of my favorite discussions on Idle Thumbs back in the day was when Nick would talk about Civ 4. That
Yeah.
stuff was always fascinating.
Yeah.
It's just games that actually, I mean, the things that games are actually good at is depicting systems.
Mhm.
I mean, doesn't mean that they can't also be good at just showing a discrete narrative. Like obviously that's a lot of what we play, and that stuff can be really cool. But the thing that they truly excel at, in a way other things don't, is modeling a system.
It's
And,
letting you
like,
create that.
yeah, that's just something you could just never, the equivalent of that is just a sci-fi author just writing the stuff that guy said, which is like potentially interesting, but not nearly as interesting as this, that the guy arrived at it through a janitor system.
Through a janitor.
Through a janitor.
A janitor who
He is the
Generated.
janitor, the cleaner, the curator of
The,
this reality, of civilization.
the Goodwill Hunting janitor who sneaks
Yes.
into his house every night and plays his game of Civ. If he comes in the next morning and the war has been stopped and peace has been
Yeah,
signed,
this is
he
like posies popping out of the
doesn't
ground.
know
Yeah.
how, yeah. It was the janitor.
Mhm.
It was
Anyway,
the janitor
It's
systems.
it's a crazy thing.
It was so great. It was really, really wonderful.
Good job, that guy.
Although that's it.
fucking
Why isn't there one of
funniest.
Barack Obama like on a horse fording a stream?
The
That's
stupid
That's a
fucking
Reagan, that's a
funniest.
Reagan maneuver.
oh, is it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
There's tons of pictures of Reagan like on a horse. And all.
Well, it's also just Vladimir Putin. Like that's.
Oh,
like,
that's true. Yeah.
Like coming out of the ocean in scuba gear,
Right,
like with a
yeah,
gun in his
that was-
hand, basically.
Well, that's yeah.
It is hilarious.
Just
He just looks like like
do everything you can to look like you're in a Pierce Brosnan Bond movie, basically.
I told a guy from the New York Post today that video games are stupid.
They are.
You
I
did
didn't
good,
know.
Vanneman. He asked for a quote.
Was that a Walking Dead related
Yeah.
thing?
He asked why there was a resurgence in he goes, this is a total rebirth in adventure games. To which I said, I've been working here for 4.5 years, and every 6 months somebody tells me this is the new rebirth of the adventure game. So the gestation period on this adventure game baby is fucking epic. This is going to come out just an old man.
It's just a horrible. It's like the Akira. It's gonna be Akira by the time it comes out. It's just
Yeah.
gonna be this fucking writhing mass of ingrown flesh.
Oh, God.
The adventure game genre, a writhing mass of ingrown flesh. Chris
Yeah.
Rainbow.
I don't know. I actually quoted you. I mean, I didn't actually. Quoting you would be attributing.
Not as if I mentioned your name. Or,
I said a thing that you've said to me without attributing it to you. I just about the creative content of mainstream games continuing to narrow down, and we're at this inflection point of that. And I do feel like adventure games offer an option that isn't that, the high concept of an adventure game is a like aging biker tries to find the killer of his spiritual mentor in a metaphorical journey for the end of an era in the American Southwest, in the futuristic American Southwest.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
come
be
on,
mildly futuristic.
yeah, you're not going to get that. Like if you pitch that as Battlefield 4, like,
Well, that is the next Call of Duty.
oh really?
Yeah, that's
An
COD,
A-
that's COD Blops 4.
COD Blops 4
Yeah.
biker boys.
hmm
Oh, biker boys.
God, I had
It's
sushi
actually
in my
COD
hand,
Blops
smell like
4.
fish.
COD Blops 4 free.
Killing
It's
me.
they're going free to play.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
COD Blops free for all.
Yeah. COD Blops free for you.
Oh, COD Blops E for all. Excuse me.
it's kind of good. I mean,
Play COD Blops 3 at E for all.
it's tough because now that you're not at Gamasutra, you're not going to know things like this off the top of my head. But this is off the top of your head. You're not going to know anything off the top
Now
of my
that I'm
head
at
either.
Gamasutra,
Now
what
that
does
you're
that
not
mean?
at Gamasutra anymore, it's hard for me to say, was the subscription service for Call of Duty like a positive thing for Activision? Like, did they make it?
Oh, yeah,
Are they
no,
like,
I-
fuck yeah, we're going free to play and because we're going to do this? Like, did that stuff actually work for them? Because that was a big
Who
deal when they
knows?
announced that. I bet nobody knows.
I bet Bobby Kotick knows.
Did I tell you, did you see Moneyball? Did you
No,
know
but I
he's in that
it.
movie?
Yeah, he was in the trailer, yeah.
It's tremendous that he's in that movie, actually. He's really good in it.
That's what I heard, yeah.
yeah, he's in.
Apparently he did like light script rewrites on that character because he's like, no, that's not what this guy would say.
Yeah. The director of the movie knows him, and
Right.
then took him to dinner and was like, "Yeah, so this is this part where the owner would like, because Bobby Kotick could officially like be, and he might be a minority owner in a sports team, but he could effectively be that with the
Right.
amount of money he
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
in a
yeah,
year.
for sure.
So he's like, would the guys that you hang around with talk like this? And he's like, no. And it's amazing in the movie because he comes in, he's so warm and so personable, and Brad Pitt's like, his name might even be Bobby. I don't know. He's like, I need more money. And he's like, oh, come on. He's like, we're a small market team. And he's like, I need more money. I want to win a championship. And you see this sort of very calculated CEO, ultra rich, ultra savvy click, this
Yeah.
little shift. It's like
Yeah.
a little tick.
Yeah.
And the next thing he says is the same tone, but Brad Pitt doesn't respond. He like has got the message. It's
Right.
a really amazing. Like I don't think many actors would actually be able to flip that switch of like the next thing I'm going to tell you is from the voice of the man who controls every single aspect of your life, and you're going to do it.
Right.
And you just hear him say this thing where he's like, "You're not getting any more money for the team." Essentially, I mean, I can't remember the language. and Brad Pitt just gets it. And it's like, whoa, this is Bobby Kotick being Bobby Kotick. It's a really, see, I told the story and I went up and down. That might help.
I have a lot to say about that
your
Bobby
levels
Kotick
are really
story.
good, and ours are inscrutable.
Jake played SSX.
Oh man, I was about to talk about it, but I didn't know if I wanted to because
You thought you were going to end on a really positive, great note about video games, and then we're going to talk about Jake deciding to take a little trip down nostalgia lane, only to be kicked in the face.
yeah, it's not that bad, but like, and I don't want to dump on that game too much because I'm sure there are people out there who enjoyed it. Actually, I don't know how the most recent SSX was received, but
Could be
I
somebody
don't
who made
either,
it.
actually.
like
Yeah.
10 years ago or whatever, GameCube era, I played SSX Tricky to the point that I maxed every single thing out and unlocked everything. Like it's the probably only time I've ever actually. I mean, that's basically physically impossible now because anytime you get close to maxing out anything, additional
DLC
content is
drops.
available that you can purchase. But I basically
Yeah.
maxed all stats out in SSX Tricky. I
Oh,
played
wow.
that so much.
My friends and I played a ton of SSX and SSX, the
Yeah.
original game and Tricky,
Like
back on the PS2. Probably
yeah,
around the same time.
everyone had all the sweet stats and all the boards and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, let's just do this. New SSX finally came out. Like
Was this the hilarious one that looked like Call of Duty on the box? Or like,
no,
something.
oh,
Is that different?
that I think was one SSX prior,
Oh,
and there
okay,
was the
okay.
Wii one that has like the hard like stone and metal logo and stuff. This one is back to being more neon colored and wacky and stuff.
Oh, I didn't even know. I missed that.
I think it's just called
entire-
SSX, but it doesn't
Uh-huh.
it doesn't look like anyway.
I don't know anything about
It was slightly depressing to me.
it. Why? In what way?
It made me feel old, but in good ways and bad, I guess, because
Right.
like I was
Well, actually, playing
it.
the game is mechanically fine. Like, it's everything around it.
Well, the game itself is also it's SSX, but my
kind of-
my experience playing SSX before, like I was super into just like going off a huge jump and chaining as many tricks as I possibly knew, and like learning which characters had the exact button combinations that would get you the like their speed to agility to what their crazy tricks were and stuff. Whereas now I'm just sitting here
It's just not interesting.
and I feel like I'm playing it and I know what I'm supposed to be doing because I have a sort of depressing amount of SSX experience, but now I feel like what my hands are doing and what's coming out of the screen and what my brain is doing is what a sitcom shows when a kid is playing a video game. Like I feel like I'm just sitting there farting for no reason, and that kind of
Yeah.
bummed me
Yeah,
out.
no, I
But
know what you mean. It's games. I think that's the root of a lot of what we've been talking about games recently amongst ourselves. Is that game like, at least especially in the mainstream sphere, games haven't really grown up with their audience, which I think is why, like when I was growing up, everyone I knew played video games, and outside of the games industry, almost none of my friends do anymore. Like pretty much none of them.
two of my friends do.
Yeah.
We're in the game industry.
But I mean, it's like because that happens. You
We
go back
are.
and you play these games that you loved playing 10 years earlier.
Yep.
It's like, oh, I guess this is still what this is.
SSX is kind of a cheap example of that, I think,
Yeah, because it's so
well,
absurd.
also as Sean was saying, I think the presentation of the latest game is also just kind of off-putting. Like
It just feels
the
like
art-
somebody was told to make an SSX
Yeah.
sequel. Somebody wasn't like,
like
I want to make an SSX sequel.
SSX Tricky is a ridiculous game, but it also is a ridiculous game of its time. Like the characters are just dressed in early 2000s ridiculous ostentatious purple or like teal and blue polka dot spots and like all this crazy stuff. Whereas this game is like it has
like,
that stuff in it, but then
hard.
it also has some of the weird desaturated modern stuff, and then like a huge like skull with sunglasses or something comes flying in. And it's
when
like,
you decide to go down like
but do you think
Skull
it's possible
Crusher
that
Mountain.
that isn't just a case of like the creative director who made it this time, this is just what that guy thinks is
Yeah,
sweet in
it's-
2012
it's
as opposed
just
to
it's just
the guy
Yeah,
who made
I
it.
mean-
it's visually less coherent. The presentation of the game, like I just think it's
There's a weird
not-
mix of like flat concept art looking characters with like really insane 3D motion graphics.
part of like it's
And it just feels if we were going to like dissect SSX on its merits and not look at it through a nostalgic comparative lens, it's impossible to review that game and if you're doing your job not say that it is not stylistically incoherent.
yeah,
I
it's
think that's fair enough, and I totally take your word for that. But I also suspect the more fundamental
yeah, I'm
issue
sure
is-
it is just in the specific case of that though
Mhm.
tricky. I like and what this really made me want to do is actually go dig out my disc and plug in a Wavebird
Right.
and play it because
Yeah.
I remember that
I'd be
game.
curious to hear your
like,
experience.
that game at the time, and I'm just going to talk about SSX Tricky for a second, apparently, which
Yeah,
is
do it.
fine. But that game at
Why
the
not?
time got knocked by people because it was basically a special edition of SSX1. Like it had 2 new tracks and a couple new guys, and other than that,
In the song "You're Tricky."
oh, they redid the audio engine, which is amazing. SSX Tricky
Oh,
has
yeah.
actually has really nice like multi-track remixes of all the songs. So when you fly up into the air, everything flanges and it drops down just to the drums, which is fantastic because if you fly up into the air and the music just drops down to nothing but a little tick, 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 and you do all the crazy
Yeah.
tricks, you hear the combo meter going, brrrr, and then you hit the ground, and if you've done enough tricks to max out your trick meter, it just throws Run DMC up at full volume. Oh, it's so good. Like that game, but like that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That game,
That's the fit and finish
the
of a game
attention
that
to
people wanted
detail
to
and
make.
like the
Yeah.
the color palette and the character designs and the world designs all match really well in Tricky. And in this game, the core is still there, and that in and of itself, I feel like I've outgrown. But then the game isn't doing a whole lot else to try and earn me back by just being
Right.
like, at least we've got this sick fit and finish that you remember, and
Yeah,
that
yeah.
it's funky.
Well, also the
Yeah,
this
I buy
the
that.
stylistic specificity, which I would also compare to like NBA Street, which is another EA big game. But like the cover of NBA Street is just a crazy dude it's a cartoon of just a guy in like bell bottoms with a rainbow afro.
SSX Tricky and
with
NBA
stars
Street
coming off
1,
of a multicolored basketball.
those games are like best buds.
Yeah, and then if you go look at the box art of the new NBA Street game, it just looks like NBA Street, but like
Yeah,
Baltimore.
I think-
like the street, like it just looks like thugged
But
out and this
yeah.
looks tough. You know,
I think-
Looks
But I
like-
mean, do
yeah.
you think they're essentially just, saying this is what this needs to be for the audience we need to capture?
Maybe,
just
No, I mean,
right now?
yeah, absolutely. But
It
I think
looks
that's
like a
because the
cheaper
people who are. I think that's
execution.
because, yeah, absolutely. This is what this needs to be to capture the audience we are trying to go after now, based on this marketing data. Where if you looked at NBA Street in SSX in their time, it was clearly just some people. It was clearly was founded from the creative. It was founded with we're going to build this franchise on this really like you to
I think this
to
is
launch a
this
franchise.
is a dangerous discussion though, because
No, but I would argue
right,
to launch a
okay.
franchise, you have to walk like just having been through the greenlight process at a major publisher many times. It forces you to build stylistic cohesion. It forces you to have a style guide. It forces you to have an art director who is making the game that he wants to make. It forces you to have because otherwise it's just that you're either going to get greenlit or not. But then once you have established your franchise, there can be a diaspora of creative talent, but the franchise still exists. So you start making your creative decisions to support the label
I would say
based on different information.
I would say with both the latest SSX and the latest NBA Street, you guys are probably both right. Like, I mean, I think you're right that it is, Chris, that these games are now trying to respond to a more modern aesthetic, like 10 years later, what people want. But at the same time, just from an art direction standpoint, from a technical execution standpoint, they are visually less cohesive, even within their own expressed
yeah.
intent inside
No,
of the games.
I believe you. The thing I was getting at is that there might actually be just a straight up cultural difference in what you appreciate aesthetically and what the audience that now would be interested in that aesthetic. Like perhaps the audience now who is interested in an NBA Street game would look at the NBA Street that you liked and think this is just ridiculous and stupid looking. You see what I mean? Like
yeah, but I mean, you don't really know that unless you're going to go out and
no, I know. I'm
focus
saying
test the shit
perhaps
out of
that's
it.
true. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I just think, I mean, I choose
I
not
think
to
you're-
go. I choose not to look at it that way because I still have to live in this world where I want people to want the NBA Street that came out in 1999.
Because it's the one you like, though. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
like,
That's not what I'm saying, though. I'm saying they're just looking at, and we're just going to get down to mincing words on this, I feel like, but like looking at the new SSX game, there are aesthetic choices in it that I don't personally like because of just the core style that they have, but then it violates its own internal style. That's
no,
what
I understand
right.
that. No, I understand that. I'm not disputing that.
Okay.
I'm not disputing that's the case. I'm saying I think there might also be
Yeah, I'm sure
other,
that just
other
Oh, I'm
factors
sure
involved
there are external pressures to make it a certain thing.
That's not even what
No,
I'm saying.
He's
even.
saying it's just not a thing that you like, even if it was done really well.
Yeah, I'm saying
That I
even,
don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like
well, because you're like, and you look at the front of the thing, and it's like street. It's like street, like Baltimore. Like, what if they just made a really coherent version of that? You wouldn't know that it isn't coherent. by
I'm
looking
willing
at
to
the front
bet
of
that
the
it's
box.
not. But if
That's
it
not what
was, though, if it was, you were just playing basketball at the low rises and the wire. Yeah, I'd play that.
That turned out terribly.
What
I'm
if the
never doing
last
this
game you
again.
ever played was SSX?
Ugh.
Oh my god!
I have to play another video game.
You can't leave this office unless you play fucking Bastion.
Yeah, I got a lot of Bastion.
Did not play Bastion.
I should finish Bastion. I only played a few hours of Bastion. I think
I
right when
started
it
dying a lot in
when
Bastion.
when Bastion showed up on Steam, I got it. And
Yeah, I got it in the bundle. Yeah. But I
Oh
also
yeah,
got
the
it.
Humbi Undilbunda. That's the Swedish version.
Oh, that's actually that's what Greedo calls it in Star Wars.
Oh, you fucker.
What?
No, that was like fucking Jabba's weird peanut
Oh, yeah.
headed friend.
Yeah, no, that is
It's
full
what?
hut.
What, the guy's got the giant wang on his head.
Yeah, yeah.
His tentacle.
What? It's like
Trunk
Unta
head.
Bunta Solo, but it's the same as no Jabba, no bother.
But
what is it? No Jabba, no
Stop
bother?
now. This is terrible. Eject.
No go.
Self-destruct.
Oh, Solo. Oh, he's no Jedi. That's also Hut E's for he's no Jedi. No Jabba, no bother. Classic, don't bother Jabba. I can speak that language, apparently. I'm familiar with one form of communication. English.
And bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit, garbage English. Anyway, humble indie bundle. Or, as it's also known,
Umbul handle bundle farfum.
That really does sound like some Nordic thing. All of our Nordic
Sorry,
listeners
Nords.
are
That's not what I sound like.
what?
Umbul bundle handle.
That's classic Merrick. I do not have an accent. I do not know what you're talking about. Bronstring, Merrick Bronstring.
Did you guys buy the Umbul handle bundle?
We're terrible people. Just FYI.
Oh, I need like 9 million.
Yeah, it is. Oh, okay. Anyway.
Holy Christ.
Good.
Every fucking time I ever went to a GameStop or GameSpot, whatever the store one is, every time I went to that, there was always that game Mace Griffin Bounty Hunter, and every single time I always thought it was Merv Griffin Bounty Hunter.
It was.
Every time, for years. It was like, remember when you used to go to Blockbuster in like high school with your buddies, and there'd always be just like the one VHS tape you'd see every single time.
Leprechaun
and you've
4
never
in space.
Right. Yeah. You'd always see it, and you'd like never seen the film, but you'd always
Yeah.
notice that movie. That was me with Merv Griffin Bounty Hunter. That's my story.
Good.
That's what I
good.
got.
Some people got
I'm out.
credit.
All right, guys, we only have 268 hours of podcast space on this hard drive left, so it's really not that much. 268 hours? That's 2 years of podcasting. What do we have on it? Yeah, I guess.
I like that you were like, it's a crazy amount. I was like, well, it's not that much. And then you got sad.
Yeah, but I mean, see, that's longer than the amount of time we actually recorded Idle Phones.
I don't believe
Games.
All right, that's it. It's over. That's a thing we might do again at some point. We don't really know.
It probably won't be as much of an explosion as this
Yeah,
was,
we'll
though.
hopefully it will not start with 45 minutes of total garbage next time. So sorry, we apologize for that having occurred. Anyway, that's about it. See you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to this chat.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh yeah, there's sirens going on. Authentic sirens.
Yeah. We done with this video game now?
Yeah, I think we're done. All right, we're actually working on the website right now. This is the reason we're in the office today is because we're actually making the website. I know everyone's really bummed out that it's taking us so long to make it. We're bummed out about it as well, but we are working on it. The typing you might hear is probably our web guy, Doug Tabaka, who is he's been our back-end programmer for like 8 years, ever since Idle Thumbs was first founded. So this is actual work happening today. And,
Oh, yeah?
Well, we're trying to make an actual website.
Except for that hour when the stream was looping over and over
Well,
again.
yeah,
that,
but Doug-
that part,
but stuff
Doug
was still
working
getting
back
done.
there laughing at us.
Doug was still working while we were failing at it. It's not the website was still being made, even though we were shitting the bed hugely. So, yeah.
Oh man, you guys!
Thanks
I
for
wrote
thanking
so many
Doug.
Models.
Oh, you wrote models?
I wrote so many models.
Doug is writing models. If
Two
you're familiar
models.
with the model view, what is the
Controller.
model view controller framework of web development? That's what's being used. You're making a mess. I said that for someone in chat. Mice. How many mice?
Doug, how many mice do I have?
Doug doesn't have
I
a
already
mouse.
responded.
He's using a trackpad.
Please, I'm way ahead of this Q&A.
Oh. Oh.
Oh man, Doug is in the chat.
He has no mice. He has a laptop with a pad. Yeah,
We're probably done streaming now.
I think we're done streaming. All right,
Thanks
thanks
for listening, guys.
We'll see you soon. Bye.